I may never have met you. We don't go way back. Maybe we wouldn't even be friends if we did. But when you wear a mask, you have my respect. Because your mask doesn't protect you. It protects me. I wear my mask to protect you. Mask up, America.
Welcome to the season-ending edition of The Nate Moore Show. Our show is brought to you all season long by Reliable Heating and Cooling. I'm your host, Dave Sheets. Joining me, as always, is the head coach of the Massillon Tigers, Nate Moore. Coach, welcome.
Thanks for having me on.
You bet. Coach, your Tigers finished the season with a 10-2 record after losing to Akron-Hoban in the Division II state championship game last Friday night. More on that game in a minute. Now, going back to the day before the game, we all learned that the 6 remaining state championship games, including ours, were being moved to right here in Massillon. Can you tell us a little bit more from your perspective how that all came about in such a short time period?
Well, things weren't looking good in Franklin County, which is where the games were supposed to be played. Mm-hmm. They turned purple with the COVID map. And so I sent a message to Bo Rugg, who's in charge of football for the OHSAA, and just said, hey, we're available if you guys have to get out of Franklin County if it's too hot. Mm-hmm. And we ended up having a conversation about it, and they got back to us and said, we want to come up. Will you guys host? And we said, of course, we're all in, and mm-hmm. That gave us about 27 hours to get ready.
And pulled it off.
Yeah, I mean, it was not me. It was Paul Salvino and Brian Patches and Mark Fortner, mm-hmm. Primarily, those guys and a bunch of other, key members and workers and whatnot. Mm-hmm. But those guys really pulled it off.
Now, since the games were moved to Massillon, that meant your Tigers will be playing on their home field. It was reported that Hoban was asked about playing at Massillon and then approved it. Were you part of that conversation at all with Hoban? Or if you weren't, who was? And can you kind of fill us in on what Hoban agreed to do other than, come to play? Is there anything behind that?
I wasn't a part of any of the conversation. Nobody from Massillon was a part of that conversation. That would have been between Bo Rugg, mm-hmm. I'm guessing, and somebody from Hoban. I'm guessing Tim Terrell.
Okay.
So.
All right. Now, turning to the game itself, Hoban jumped out to a 14-0 lead in the first quarter. You have always preached, since I've known you, that you win games by running the ball successfully and being able to stop the run. And I guess this is probably where we give Hoban credit, because that's what they were able to do. Is that fair?
Yeah, I mean, that was the story of the game, and we weren't able to get anything going in the run game, and didn't do a good enough job stopping the run. Mm-hmm. So. That's what you have to do to win football games, especially games against really good teams. So.
Now, your Tigers fought hard in the second half as well, but Hoban was just too strong and went on to win the game. Now, besides getting your team to its third straight state appearance in the state championship game, what will you remember most about this particular game?
About the game?
The game itself, sure.
I mean, There's not much that you really want to remember about that game. I'd focus more on the season and mm-hmm. Our team, our guys, and it was a great group of guys that were incredibly hard workers and practiced hard every day. Prepared hard in the preseason the best we could while we were in quarantine, and really did a lot of really good things. And the victory against McKinley and mm-hmm. and Ignatius and LaSalle, those were all big games. And, the victory against Perry, certainly was big too. So, it's, those are the things that I'll remember about this team. But mostly the kids, just spending time with the guys. It's a great group of guys, great group of captains too.
It's always tough to see a season end because your time with your seniors is over. I think you talked about it a little bit, but what in particular has this senior group meant to the program and to you personally?
It was a fantastic group of guys that worked really hard and did things right.
Mm-hmm.
Continued the standard that has been I don't know, brought back to life, I guess, maybe here, because it's not like it wasn't here before.
Mm-hmm.
Those guys, they practiced like tigers. They fought like tigers. It's a great group, and they've certainly, done their part to carry that burden, while they were in charge, and to, show the younger guys, what that means and what it means to be a Massillon Tiger.
I also think one of the things that's been probably overlooked in your time here at Massillon has been the success that your football players have had in the classroom. Let's talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, it's definitely a focus for us in our program, and we had a really high goal of a 3.5 team GPA. Thought that was, it's a high goal, but I felt like it was a realistic goal, and we fell short of that. Hard to recall. I think it was around a 3.2 or 3.18. I'm not sure, but we fell a couple tenths short of that. But our senior class actually hit that. Our senior class as a group had a 3.5, so really proud of that. We've done a lot of work over the past 3 years, really, with providing an ACT prep course and making that important, and taking that July ACT test date as kind of like a game day, and working towards that, and I've had some success there, raising some ACT scores for some guys, and because it's football ends for everybody eventually, and some sooner than others, but it ends eventually. And the thing about football especially, but other athletics also, is you learn work ethic and how to do things that are uncomfortable when you don't want to do them, because they need to be done. That sense of responsibility, and that's something that carries over directly, to the classroom and their studies, and one day their jobs and their family lives. And so, when you look, this is Massillon, and wins are important, but when you look at the big picture, those are things that we're definitely proud of.
Well said. In a moment, we'll talk with Tiger Senior co-captain Xavier Andrews, who comes back to us on the show. But first, this word from Reliable Heating and Cooling.
There was a time when 10 miles to the gallon was acceptable. Today's 40-plus mile-per-gallon cars weren't even in the rearview mirror back then. Of course, this Lennox air conditioner wasn't on the radar either. It's solar-ready, the quietest, most energy-efficient air conditioner you can own. It's time to live in the now.
Call Reliable Heating and Cooling for the most advanced technology in heating and air conditioning. When you're ready to live in the now, call Reliable Heating and Cooling.
Lennox, innovation never felt so good.
And thank you, Reliable Heating and Cooling. Joining me once again is Senior Co-Captain Xavier Andrews here on the Nate Moore Show. Xavier, welcome back to the show.
I'm proud to be back.
Great to have you with us. First of all, congratulations on a great season. It didn't end the way that we all wanted it to, but you and your teammates should be extremely proud. You are part of a group that played in 3 straight state championship games. When you hear that, how does it make you feel?
I know we didn't win, but at the end of the day, just to make there was a blessing, and I'm proud just to be part of the team.
You and the Tiger defense played really hard throughout the game against Hoban last Friday, but came up on the short end on the scoreboard. In the end, what made their offense so difficult to slow down?
They just played physical. It was a physical ball game, and they just able to execute. Simple as that.
Hoban led 14-6 at halftime. What was the feeling in the Tiger locker room then at the half?
At the half, in the locker room, we was planning on going out and scoring and getting a stop and getting the ball back and score again.
Now, when the game ended, share with us some of the things that were running through your mind as you were standing there on the field.
It was hard, man. The thoughts was like it was really over, and then losing your last home game as a Tiger, it was just emotional.
And as a senior, what will you miss the most about playing for the Massillon Tigers?
I just miss being on that field. It's an honor just to play on that field. It's an honor to be part of the team. It's an honor just to be a Massillon Tiger. That's the most.
And finally, as a senior co-captain, what would be your message to the upcoming juniors and sophomores on next year's team?
I told them just to take this as a learning experience and work hard in the weight room, on and off the field, and remember what the name on your chest means.
All right. Well, again, thanks for being such a great co-captain this year, and thanks for your time.
Thank you, my brother.
All right. Senior co-captain Xavier Andrews joining us here on the Nate Moore Show. Coach Moore will rejoin us on the program after this timeout.
I work out every day. COVID won't kill me.
I'm 24. COVID won't kill me.
I have antibodies. COVID won't kill me.
It's been a long week. COVID won't kill me.
I'm 25. COVID won't kill me.
I'm partying outside. COVID won't kill me.
I don't need to wear a mask around my friends. COVID won't kill me.
I'm 23. COVID won't kill me.
If I haven't gotten it yet, COVID won't kill me.
I'm young. COVID won't kill me.
Famous last words. Don't let them be yours. Socially distance. Mask up, America.
And we welcome you back to the final segment of the Nate Moore Show. Coach, we just spoke with Xavier Andrews on the program. How would you summarize not only his, but all of your senior co-captains' leadership during this extremely challenging season?
I thought those guys did a great job. You know, all four of our captains, deserved to be there. Mm-hmm. They all checked a lot of boxes that you want to see in your captains. And, X is no different. He's fantastic in the classroom and in the hallways and in the community, and he's a great player who made a lot of tackles for us, a lot of big plays for us over the last 2 years, and was a high energy guy and a high effort guy at practice and in the weight room, and the guys that do everything right are rare, and you just love seeing those guys be successful. And X is going to be successful at whatever he chooses to do after high school and after college, and can't wait to see what his future holds.
Now, besides the players and the coaching staff, there are so many people who contribute to the success of the Tiger program that may go unnoticed. Can we take a moment and have you acknowledge some of those individuals, maybe? Sure.
The first thing I'd have to mention is our administration, Paul Salvino, David Lautenschlager, Mark Fortner, who are just incredibly supportive of our football program, but athletics in general. And we couldn't do what we do without those guys. And then Brian Patches, the assistant athletic director at Washington High School, that handles a ton of duties for me in the fall, and keeps everything moving, and really answered the bell this weekend with the state championship games being brought back to Massillon, those 6 games. And then our booster club and our president this year, Eric Smith, who did a phenomenal job. And our booster club it was the first booster club ever in the country, and it continues to set the standard of support, both financially and in manpower and moral support and all those things. We were able to carry on a lot of those booster club meetings and whatnot as we could through the pandemic, and the support from our booster club never wavered. So we appreciate those guys.
How about the medical staff? Unfortunately, football is a very physical sport, and how about some of the medical people that care to the Tigers?
Yeah, we have two fantastic trainers, Lee Kuntz and Sam Allweiler, who do a phenomenal job with our guys, taking care of them. Team doctors, Dr. Perry, who's kind of our team family doctor, and then Jared Stefanko, Dr. Jared Stefanko, who's a former Tiger, is an orthopedic at Spectrum Orthopedics, who they do a phenomenal job taking care of our guys, and we appreciate everybody.
Great. Now, when I looked back at the starting lineups for the Hoban game, I counted just 3 non-senior starters on offense. They included lineman Todrick Lee and Jaden Woods and running back Will Charles Hartson. On defense, I counted just 1, defensive back Austin Brawley. And on special teams, kicker Alex Bauer and punter Magnus Haynes are both seniors. So now the challenge begins with the offseason to find the underclassmen to step up and replace this outstanding senior group. When does the offseason officially begin, and how much are you looking forward to putting together another great team?
We'll start back in the weight room January 4th. So after Christmas break, and definitely looking forward to getting back in there with the guys, and it is going to be a really interesting year. We'll have a good amount of other guys that are letter winners, that have experience playing some varsity football for us. But like you said, not a lot of starters. So usually that means a lot of competition, and competition brings out the best in everybody. And so the cream will rise to the top, and the kids will work hard in the weight room with Stu, and we'll do everything we can to put together another great Tiger team next year in the 2021 season.
I also know you work very hard at finding opportunities for your senior players to continue their careers in college. What are some of the ways you assist them in that area?
I mean, the biggest thing is just being available to college coaches and developing relationships with those guys. The pandemic has made it really, really hard. With that, this is a really odd year in recruiting because the NCAA's had them, the college coaches, in a dead period that just got extended through April, right? So usually, I'd have, 10 or 12 coaches coming through it in a given week. Usually during their season, they come through on their dead week. But in the spring, we may have 50, 60 coaches in a week. Wow. So, everybody that recruits Ohio comes to Massillon. Just coordinating those visits with the guys, sharing the information about our guys, making sure that they have everything that they need. The college coaches on our guys, and film and not stats so much, but the measurables, height, weight, and whatnot, GPA, ACT score, which you can't be recruited without that, or not for very long. And so now the challenge is how do you do that without those visits? And it's a lot of texting, some phone calls, and some emails. But by now I've got established relationships with a couple hundred college coaches, and it's one of the most difficult is just keeping up every year with who's in and who's out and who's at this school now and whatnot, just keeping up with all that. But it's just we just do it virtually, basically, just like everything else. But that's still going on, and we've got a couple guys already committed, and that'll be early enrollees, which is great for them. And We'll have several more that sign in February, I believe.
Okay. Finally, Tiger fans always enjoy looking ahead to the schedule for the next season. Can you tell us who is already locked in and how many more dates need to be filled for the 2021 season?
We've got several open dates now. One is open. 2 is Glen Oak. 3 is open. 4 is Warren Harding. 5 is open. 6 will be Fitch. 7 and 8 are open. 9 will be Worcester, and 10 will be McKinley.
Okay. And that's an ever-evolving process, right?
Correct.
Well, Coach, it was another great season. Thanks for all you do for not only the football program, but for all Washington high school athletes and the Massillon community as well. We appreciate your time.
Thank you.
I want to thank Coach Moore and Tiger co-captain Xavier Andrews for joining us on the show this week. This final edition of the Nate Moore Show for this season, brought to you by Reliable Heating and Cooling. For Coach Moore, I'm your host, Dave Sheets. Thanks for watching, and as always, go Tigers.
Massillon City Schools is proud to have one of the top career technical education programs in the state of Ohio, recently receiving a #1 ranking of the 93 districts in the area of achievement. Our career technical education department offers 14 pathways preparing students for college and careers. All students have the opportunity to participate and compete in their career technical student organization, as well as obtain valuable experience in the field while earning aligned industry credentials and/or college credit in high school. Visit massillonschools.org for more information.
Bye, sweetie. I love you.
Bye, Mommy. I love you.
No matter where life takes you, MCTV helps make sure you're never far from home.
Hi. Are you being good for Daddy?
Yeah. Can we read a bedtime story?
MCTV connects you to home because that's what matters most.
Good night. Sweet dreams.
MCTV. We go the extra smile.
I joined cosmetology because I've always loved coloring hair and different colors and makeup.
I joined media because I've always had a passion for all things related to media.
I've always had a passion for teaching other people, especially topics that I'm interested in.
I want to pursue a career as an orthopedic surgeon.
And so when I saw that we had this class, I immediately circled it on my schedule and was excited to join.
This class has made me better because it made me very responsible.
I like the relationships that I've developed in this class.
The girls that are in here with me, I've really grown close with all of them.
I joined this class because I enjoy helping others and I want to make a difference.
Even just making something and having people go, wow, that's really interesting. It means the world.
It was just a really good environment to be in. It was real hands-on, and it was just something I really wanted to do.
I joined the construction trades to gain experience in the job I want in the future.
Everything that this class has taught me will account for my career in the future.
Before I came to this class, I was unemployed, and Ms. Markley helped me get a job.
I'm going to use what I learned in manufacturing in order to better decide my career.
It gave me more knowledge on cars and gave me plans to go in the auto industry.
Massillon CTE works for me.
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 Works for me.
For me.
For me.
For me. Massillon CTE works for me.